let's talk about the college football playoffs. All right? We're going to get into some arguments.
There's a lot to talk about. And if you remember, if you were watching the beginning of the show, this is where that Lane Kiffin take that I said that you're going to want to listen to is going to come in. So I'll let you segue us in.
So we're going to talk about the entire, we're talking about the list. We can even look at our phones now. Let's pull out the list.
So we happen to be right after they just had their most recent college football rankings. Vanderbilt dropped a spot. You know, all these different changes in the college football rankings. But there's a lot of teams on the outside looking in that do still have a case.
Okay, so the locks. Sorry, guys. The locks. Ohio State, Indiana, which is going to be the Big Ten championship. Mm-hmm. Let's just cut it right now. Who do you think wins that game, Ohio State, Indiana?
Ohio State. Unfortunately.
Because Julian's saying, were you surprised that they beat Michigan, got the monkey off their back?
No, but they should have also beat Michigan last year.
And Jeremiah Smith might have fumbled. It might have been a completely different game. I think he fumbled for the end zone. But do you think Julian Sain's that good, or does he just have a clean pocket every single
clean pocket. I think that he's got so many weapons. He's got an advanced play calling system that was like a carryover last year, a little bit of
hardline Ryan Day.
Yeah, I mean, and also like a little carryover of the Chip Kelly offense. Coaches keep things that work, year to year, and you can see that with the Jeremiah.
I think I'm with you. I think Mendoza might struggle. I might take Ohio State. I'm going to take Ohio State comfortably over the number. I'm taking them 35-14. Ohio State.
I think so too. But I think that's going to...
Because Mendoza can't really move.
No.
And that's a problem.
No, but I think that score is going to indicate how good of a team Indiana really is. And I think that the whole college football has an Ohio State problem this year. They are just a juggernaut. It's unfortunate. And I think
Ohio State might just win it all.
Yeah, I think they just might run the table.
Okay. So then Indiana still gets a bye, right? Do the 4 teams get a bye?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
then we have the Georgia Bulldogs. So I have Bama beating Georgia. So would Bama then get a bye, or would it go to maybe a Texas Tech, a Big 12 champion?
I mean, a 2-loss SEC champion. You got to find some room for Georgia as well. So I think that they're hosting.
Well, Georgia, you're way simpler. Georgia wins, they're in the bye.
They might get the bye, yeah.
I think they will.
I think they will. One of them.
I think they're a 1-loss team, and their only loss was Alabama. They're getting the bye.
And then after you beat them, you basically just prove to the committee that
So then Texas Tech.
I have a big prediction for this game. I think that BYU.
Are you going to pull the lever? Did they shock you?
I think that BYU can make some noise in that
How about
game.
win the game? Go there. Are you going there?
I will go there. I think BYU wins that game against Texas Tech. And I think that it's simply off of the fact that there's been rumbling rumors going around in
Happy Valley?
No, I'll say
Kalani Sitake.
I'll say in Mormon heaven over there. I think that those guys believe.
Which would be heaven, by the way.
Yeah.
But you just might be denied of everything.
Maybe, of everything. But I think that BYU, there's been talk from the players that Lubbock, the talk about Lubbock is that they have apparently now they have the best facilities in the country. They're over here. I mean, so with all that donor money that they got, but are you going to, whether you have a real good one or not is subjective, right? Everybody's got different cool things in their locker rooms. Everybody's got different cool views. There's a school over in Utah. There's
Florida Gulf Coast.
Yeah, there's
what are you talking about? St. George or Dixie State?
No, there's a bunch of schools. Utah Valley. There's a bunch of schools that have
great
very,
views.
very nice views. Yeah, their stadiums are like Wyoming's as well. Very, very nice.
Yeah.
So for these schools, Lubbock has been they've always been decent, never really able to amount to the hype that they get.
But now they're balling, bro.
No, they definitely are.
Tony Campbell, the #1 recruiting class in the nation. Yeah. I know that they bought all these players, but Joey McGuire's got to put it all together.
Texas is running into that issue this year. You got a lot of players that are playing for Texas.
So the point is, you really think that think after the first game when BYU couldn't have any offense?
No, I think that
Texas
they figured
Tech
it out
could stop them.
now.
I'm very worried about Baron Morton, the quarterback. I mean, you have Coy Aiken, you have Dickey who runs the football well. But Baron Morton's I love Baron Morton, but he just doesn't stay healthy.
No, and that's the problem.
And now Will Hammond's out for the year. So, but you see BYU physically in Arlington winning this game.
I think that the conversations around BYU is that Lubbock has this big high going on right now where they think that they're untouchable.
With Cody Campbell.
Yeah, they're playing for a Big 12 championship, which, if you remember, what was their history like when Texas was in the Big 12? They weren't playing for Big 12 championships.
So you have Texas Tech losing.
Yeah,
We're going to keep rolling. You think Oklahoma's a lock to get in? And do you think Ole Miss and Oklahoma's a lock to get in?
I don't know.
Oklahoma beat Alabama. You know what, though? If Bama loses to Georgia.
Let's say the locks for after we get done the actual championship game. Oh, I want to talk about that ACC championship
All right,
game.
go ahead. Let's talk about Duke, Virginia.
So Duke, Virginia, on paper, you're going to see a 10-2 team versus a 7-5 team. Now, by no means is Duke that great of a team.
Well,
but the ACC is not very good. They are not very good. Do not believe what you see or what you read anywhere. I think that this game is going to be a lot closer than everybody has. The betting projections only has UVA a 3.5-point favorite. It's pretty crazy.
I might take that.
Do you see what I mean?
I might take them to cover.
I think you might have to just off the betting numbers.
And they killed Duke the first time.
Yeah, but Duke has the chance to do the funniest thing ever. If Duke was to claw and scrape a win against Virginia, I think that you, me, anybody could go in that college football committee and they would all be wrong with any team that they put out. They could do the projection a million times. They're going to be wrong every single time because if Duke was to win the ACC championship, they do not belong in the college football playoff. And the precedent was already set a few years ago. You remember Florida State 13-0, lose their Heisman hopeful quarterback. And what did the committee say? They said that there was a noticeable difference in the last 2 games of the season. They went from almost 30.5 points a game to 16 points per game with 2 different quarterbacks.
With different quarterbacks, with Brock Glenn and whoever the quarterback was.
Right. So that's going to bring me to my next segue.
Go ahead. Let's connect it all.
It's going to connect it all to the Lane Kiffin thing. I think, and I'm going to stand up for this, I think that this is the first time, this is a guy with no ACL talking here to you, the viewers, to you, the college football committee, to anybody at home that gives a crap about what we have to say, what anybody has to say. I think that this is the time of year you set a precedent. You want to paint Lane Kiffin the victim. You want to make him the vulgar person that he is, the enemy. Tell everybody in the world the consequences of leaving a team midway through the season of a championship run. You are not the same team if you lose your offensive coordinator and your head coach the same way as if you were not the same team if you lost your starting quarterback. Ole Miss should not be in the college football playoff despite their 2-loss season. I don't care if they had better wins than anybody else in the country, which they don't. I think that if you're...
No way.
No, I think that you set a precedent right now. The same way you set a precedent when FSU lost their head coach. You do not allow Ole Miss into the playoffs. You put a team like Texas in with better... And this isn't just because I'm a biased homer. You put a team with an actual coach, with a quarterback that has been 16-2 touchdown interception ratio in his past 5 SEC games. 3 of them, this is the number 3 team, number 7 team, and number 12 team in the country. You set the precedent right here, right now, that you are not the same team without your coach, just like you're not without your quarterback. And I think that Lane Kiffin just cost his team missing the playoff. And I think the committee is going to view it the same way.
Me too.
Mic drop.
But I would hate that so much.
Everybody would. Everybody would.
Except for you.
I would hate it too because it changes the whole landscape.
Because it's not fair. I know that this is coming to the end of this, which I want everybody to watch. I get one rebuttal, and then maybe you can have a little bit of time left. I don't think that that's fair to this Ole Miss team or to these kids. And one, if Lane Kiffin was, God forbid, sick or something, But he wasn't. He went to the... It doesn't matter because guess what? Charlie Weiss can still call the damn plays. You still have Trinidad Chambliss. It's what you do on the field in the regular season. I don't care if their whole team was hurt with injuries. I don't care if they all were sick and missed the game. You reward the team on the field.
Well,
you reward the team on the field. And Lane Kiffin, again, these players worked their whole year to be able to make it. Who cares what the off-the-field staff does? And guess what? So then if Trinidad Chambliss, guess what? If he gets hurt, don't look at me with that face. Why should Georgia even play in the SEC championship game? Because guys can get hurt.
But that's the...
what they got it wrong at that time.
But that's what we're talking about.
They got it wrong at that time. And also, Alabama was that good, and Florida State played in a weak ACC that year.
I mean... 13-0 is 13-0.
But
if you're
not crap,
it doesn't matter. If you're not, I mean, we can say that. Hold on, we can say
that was like an ACC was like the Big 12.
We can say the same thing about Ole Miss's schedule. We can say the same thing. We can say the same thing.
No, Ole Miss. They still beat Mississippi State. They beat Oklahoma. So you know what? Keep Oklahoma out of the playoffs.
But here we go with this.
And Brent Venables, guess what? Ole Miss's staff, coaching staff, even Pete Golding is better than Brent Venables.
I think so too. But
come on,
what do we care more
Pete
here?
Golding.
What do we care more here?
I respect Pete Golding.
I respect them as well. I respect a lot of their coaching staff. But now, what are we going here? If we do not allow a Florida State team that ran the table, just because they missed the guy. What if they did that to Ohio State when they lost JT Barrett? What if they did that with Ohio State when Cardinal Jones went in?
We wouldn't be sitting here. More talented. The Big Ten was better than the ACC.
So we know the talent level. We can see that with our eyes, can we not?
Ole Miss is talent.
No one says that they're not talented, but what's more important, losing your starting quarterback, which Ohio State did and won a national title, or losing your head coach and a lot of other staff members?
It's a lot, but guess what? Ole Miss is easily in. Because they only lost one game.
But are they? Because
who are you putting in over them? Notre Dame?
I mean, Notre Dame has
Are you putting in Texas? Are you putting in Alabama?
If I can only pick one team, yes. I think that if there's any
Vanderbilt?
team, look, let's say you draft.
I might not even watch the college football playoff if they do Ole Miss like that.
Let's say you draft your 12, right? You already have them locked in based on at large, and then you go. Let's say you circle Ole Miss. Let's say you circle out Oklahoma. Whoever it is that you circle, right? Let's say there's one team that's on the fence, right? Of those 12, the weakest one, any one of those 12 teams in that bottom tier, right, could easily be switched out with Texas, and nobody would ever be complaining outside of if you were to take a team like Alabama out of it, if they were to somehow still make it,
but I wouldn't take Ole Miss,
which is also going to be another conversation.
Ole Miss. I'm still hung up on that.
I'm taking out.
I really disagree with you.
If I have to pick a team,
if you were on the committee, would you do that?
Yes, because I would say you could have let Lane Kiffin just coach, and you would stay in the college football. What do you care more about? Do you care more about the optics and the college football coaching cycle and the college football?
No, you just let the kids play. You let the kids play. It's not their fault. It's not their fault.
But the argument is
a players' game. As much as we like coaches, it's a players' game. And guess what? Texas did lose to Georgia and Florida.
They did.
Too bad.
They have one.
Notre Dame. Guess what? I'm going to put Notre Dame in.
But then what about Miami?
Because Notre Dame, they played a crap schedule, but guess what? They hammered everybody.
But what about Miami? They beat Notre Dame
in week 1. But then what happened when they went to SMU? Why couldn't they beat Louisville at home?
I mean,
I know that they beat Notre Dame.
There's a lot.
I know that they beat Notre Dame, but the ACC was that poor, and Notre Dame beat USC at home. So guess what? I still like Notre Dame.
Every single team, including
Georgia. So I'm going chalky. I think that the committee's actually going to get this right.
I think that they're going to get it right too, but for the reasons that I'm talking about.
You think Ole Miss is going out?
I think Ole Miss is going to go out because they see all the debacle and everything that's going on, and they're just saying, "I don't want to touch this."
I don't like that.
Because if Ole Miss,
it'll be fascinating if that happens.
If Ole Miss,
I will give you a good prize on this show.
All right,
maybe a financial prize.
I will leave this.
How about this? Shake hands on that.
All right.
I think it'll be, if you get it, all the credit to you.
All the credit. But look, if Ole Miss was to lose badly
in the playoff,
in the week 1, now we're sitting here and saying the narrative around the world. Hold on, I wouldn't be shocked either.
No, and I wouldn't be mad at Ole Miss or the committee.
You wouldn't because you're level-headed. But you know what? Every single pundit, every single pundit, you're going to hear this. Okay, mark this down in a moment in time. If Ole Miss loses badly in that first round of the playoffs, whether they lose in the first round or the second round, depends who they get matched up. It depends if they even get in, right? Let's say Ole Miss comes short of expectations,
very
right?
Possible.
Every single pundit is going to say, I could have told you that. They don't even have their head coach. And everybody's going to go, oh, like the Lil Yachty meme when they're in the
but guess what? They still deserve the right to play like dog crap in the playoff and make you suffer for Ole Miss getting blown out.
But so did FSU. So did FSU, and I will leave it at that.
That was a 14 playoff. Alabama beat Georgia, even with one loss.
Precedent is precedent.
I just think Alabama's better. I just think there's 12 in now.
The exact verbiage of the College Football Championship Committee is we aren't ranking teams based on their losses or their wins. We're ranking the teams on their projected outcome of how they could play.
A lot more to come.
A lot more to come.
A lot more to come.
A lot more.
A lot more to come. Spence and Serg. This could go another hour.
We can talk about
this. This is episode 1. This is Spence
and Serg.
Awesome.